Here's one thing I love about your main in Marvel Rivals. Over the past few months, school's out and toxicity's on the rise. So how about a change of pace? And focus on the positives. And yes, that even includes you Wolverine mains. And no, I promise I won't be bringing up your criminal background. Speaking of which, if this video gets 100 likes, I'll make a follow-up video where I bring the toxicity back and I'll do everything I hate about your main. But enough shilling, time for content. Starting off with Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock mains will rarely ever complain. They exist solely to throw hands and to make sure the team understands who the real carry is. You guys will also play against Dive just so your Star-Lord can keep his Resurrect team up. And for that, I thank you. Black Panther. Black Panther players are just a different breed of human being. The amount of times you guys will force the enemy team to swap their entire comp around just to deal with you says a lot about your skill level. I've never seen someone so determined to get a kill on an enemy flyer, just to show maximum disrespect. You might not win the game, but they will remember that feeling of going up against you. And chances are, Black Panther is going to be a trauma ban because of what you did to them. Black Widow. Black Widow mains have the strongest mental hands down. The amount of verbal abuse you guys take for simply enjoying a character is unreal. Even if your team's winning, they're angry. And when they're losing, it's somehow all your fault. Yet you still manage to come out with the most final hits in the game. And getting those crisp headshots makes everything all worth it. I will happily swap to Mantis to give you that damage buff. Captain America. When you're not reciting the Pledge of Allegiance, you're typically the one shot calling, making sure everyone knows who to focus in order to get that dub. And when things are going bad, you can always count on Cap players to be the last one standing on the objective. Typically long enough for the rest of your team to join back up 6 or 7 times. Cloak and Dagger. You likely get called a no-skill, brain-dead easy character, but that's okay. You understand that playing a more difficult character doesn't necessarily mean a more impactful one. And the people complaining about how easy of a character you're playing are also the ones who are relying on you to risk your life to save them. Also, I swear to God, you guys have the best map knowledge on being able to navigate around the map to escape my Magneto ults. Doctor Strange. Most people have found ways to play against Strange, counter his ult, and punish him whenever he's out of position, but that's what separates the Strange mains from the Strange connoisseurs. You will somehow find a way to bend reality and turn an unwinnable game into a victory. Those portals are game-changing and the team coordination is juicy. Emma Frost. Emma Frost players love peeling for their backline, but also enjoy backing up their tank buddy in the front line as well. They're more than likely the first people to swap in order to help the team where it needs to be helped, but make no mistake, they're ready to throw hands. Groot. Groot mains are chillin'. I don't think I've ever met a single Groot player who was toxic. They might type something like unlucky whenever they see a teammate screw up, but they never go beyond that. They'll somehow always manage to have top damage blocked, and final hits. You guys are all vibes, and those walls go crazy. Hawkeye. There are few DPS characters that can really showcase their carry potential quite like Hawkeye. I swear the game will just start and you maniacs already have like 13 kills. You also force the enemy team to play around you, basically forcing the enemy dive characters to either focus you and not your supports, or they risk losing the game. Hela. Hela mains are basically a walking no-fly zone. I swear every time the enemy team pulls out the Iron Man, Storm, Human Torch combo, Hela players just start salivating like they haven't eaten in weeks. And the number of times I've gotten picked off when I'm playing Loki or Thor just to be resurrected because Hela finished off the kill is too many to count. Not to mention, your ult's a literal game changer. Hulk. Speaking of anti-air, I always underestimate how high Hulk can jump. You guys will jump building to building like you're Spider-Man just to dunk on someone mid-air. Hulk mains have the uncanny ability to somehow jump in, beat cheeks, and jump out with a sliver of health, and end up going 35, 0, and 92. I honestly don't know how y'all managed to do it, but it's impressive. I wish I could play Hulk. Human Torch. Yeah, I still don't know how you guys get kills with Human Torch. Every time I attempt to play him, I get rolled. But somehow you Human Torch mains always manage to make him look like a god among men. Not to mention you'll have some sort of divine intervention ability to not get shot out of the air. God, is he cool. Invisible Woman. Invisible Woman players are the soccer moms of the game. Y'all log in after a day of work, play a few games here and there just to save your team with a clutch ult, or better yet, save your tank from a Wolverine that's just been kidnapped. You guys are angels. Thank you. Iron Fist. You know, despite the stereotypical Iron Fist players, seeing a friendly Kung Fu man flying in and counter-diving the enemy Black Panther is something special to watch. I swear Iron Fist mains are the German Shepherds of Marvel Rivals. You just point at an enemy and you watch as they fly through the air to throw hands. Enemy Iron Man getting a bit too comfortable in the air? No problem. These legs were meant for flying. And speaking of Iron Man. On the off occasion you turn off freaky mode, your ability to provide constant pressure to the enemy is admirable. You guys have the stealth ability of a cargo plane, yet you still somehow manage to go unnoticed behind enemy lines, just to release your built-up freak bomb and obliterate the entire backline. Jeff players are an enigma. On one hand, they're vibing, happy with the new changes, and just all around go with the flow. On the other hand, some are in mourning, but you both meet up in the middle because you're hungry, and you gotta eat. Jeff mains will go out of their way just to make sure you're topped up on health. Yeah, the bubbles aren't super helpful now, but you know what? Who can be angry? You have mini zoomies. I mean, look at the guy. He's adorable. It doesn't even matter what he did back in 1998. Loki. The amount of times a Loki player has saved my life and the game is unreal. Story time. I was in ranked, just lost our Luna who had ult, and we needed a big support ult to win the game. So what does our Loki do? He copies the enemy Strange, portals back to our spawn, picks up our Luna, that way she can make it back to point and ult. I mean, we didn't win the game, but it was pretty sick. Luna Snow. Since this game is launched, I have yet to see a toxic Luna player. Like, yeah, she's technically the best character in the game, but y'all don't let it get to your heads, and you lock in whenever you need to be. The amount of times you've saved me with a clutch ult or sniped an enemy with a snowball whenever they're going in for a big ability, yeah, I can't count that high. I do miss the Luna Jeff team up though. Magik. I rarely see Magik players, but that's a good thing, because I know you're busy hiding around corners stalking the enemy backline. You'll pop back in every 3 minutes or so to get topped off by one of your supports, and then never be seen again. You're basically the Marvel Rivals equivalent to the Boogeyman, and the enemy team knows that, and they're afraid of you. Magneto. You've solo tanked more times than not, and you're still holding it down. You always save your teammates with your bubble, and make sure that your supports are safe from the enemy dive characters. You Magneto mains are basically the LeBron James of Marvel Rivals, foaming at the mouth to redirect that Punisher, Star-Lord, or Iron Man ult right back at them. Sometimes even all three at once. Mantis. Yeah, you guys still scare me a little bit, but in a good way. You know your limits. You know you're not going to be cranking out the insane healing numbers as the Lunas and Lokis. But the best type of health insurance is an enemy that's dead. The more you know. Nah, but seriously, you guys have DPS players sweating once they notice they're not the ones doing all the damage. Y'all are out here turning Marvel Rivals into John Wick. And can we talk about all those big sleeps? Mr. Fantastic. You guys always have my back whenever I need a solo tank. Just like Emma Frost players, you'll stay somewhere in the middle of the team, just so you can jump to your backline to shield them and beat the brakes off any dive characters that dare touch your wife, and also Susan. As well as you're willing to fling yourself into the front lines just to give your tank some breathing room. Mr. Reed, as big as you need Richards, goes crazy hard. Moon Knight. How do you people always have ult? And not only that, how are you getting kills with it? You guys must be blessed by the moon itself, because every time I ult, the enemies just sort of slow jog their way out of it, but the second I'm caught up in the middle of it, it's like throwing me into the ring with prime Mike Tyson. Moon Knight mains are basically the backbone of DPS players. I mean, how many games have you played where your teammates have said like, guys, we gotta deal with this Moon Knight, but you can never find him? And then when you finally locate him, you're forced to bear witness to him holding his ankh above his head like he's dispelling demons. Namor. Namor mains are keeping backline safe since 1965. You managed to make the enemy Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Magik rethink their life decisions. Not to mention that the second they let their guard down, Moby Dick himself reminds them that maybe they should learn a different character. And when you're not bullying people on Namor, you're holding down the fort as Peni Parker. Yeah, that's what we call horrible writing, but a good transition. Peni players are the Marvel Rivals equivalent to the Secret Service. They'll lock down an entire portion of the map, and the only way you're getting to the objective is in a body bag. We've all had that moment of fear when you're going into ult, and then you see a Peni slowly turn around. You know she's got her web up, and you know she sees you. It's only a matter of time, and you're only delaying the inevitable. Psylocke. Psylocke players are typically the shot callers of the team. You'll go invisible, take out the enemy supports, and then dip once things get a little bit too sticky. Not to mention, she's actually one of the most fun duelists. Her gameplay style and the challenges for the player's mechanical skill is just as rewarding as it is satisfying. And if things aren't going too great, you'll swap off and help the team where they need it. Goated character. Rocket. Similar to Black Widow, Rocket mains have suffered from not only people like me, but people who actively think he's a brain-dead character. Your res beacon has saved more games than I can count, and with a new amplifier, yes, Rocket, I truly am enjoying it. Also, whenever I'm playing a tank or something, I really never expect the Rocket players to shoot back at me, but when they do, good lord, I didn't realize that he had hands as well, and I was not prepared for that amount of damage. Scarlet Witch. I actually really like Scarlet Witch on my team. 9 out of 10, they're taking off angles and annoying the enemy team. And yeah, they might not be meta, but that's what makes it cool. Getting outplayed by a Wanda player never really feels bad, especially if it's her ult that gets you. Because deep down, you know you deserved it. How did you get hit by that? And with a strange team up, you're just nuking people the second they walk out of spawn. Spider-Man. Guys, it's time to come clean. Spider-Man is my favorite superhero, hands down. I've seen every Spider-Man movie. I've read the majority of his comics. I mean, one of my favorite villains is Big Wheel, for God's sake. Seriously, Nettie is put Big Wheel in the game right now. I'm not asking. And I get it, Spider-Man can be somewhat annoying to play against, especially when your team doesn't turn around to help. But then you have to realize, they spend a ton of time practicing and perfecting their character, just to do what a Hela player can do with 2 headshots. Plus, Spider-Man is one of the best characters to fight those pesky flyers with, and you can't even look me in the eyes and tell me he's not fun to play. I can go 1 in 26 and still come out smiling, because I was just swinging around the map doing backflips all the while my character is telling jokes. Squirrel Girl. As much as I hate to say it, Squirrel Girl is a fun character. Like, can I really be mad if a squirrel is riding a nut being launched at me at Mach 5? Also, I still underestimate how strong your ult actually is, especially in an enclosed space. Also, it's extremely humbling whenever I get ulted by a Squirrel Girl to realize just how bad my aim is. When I can't track the squirrels pinballing off the wall, I sort of just walk in the opposite direction to try to just ignore it, only to see in the kill feed 3 seconds later that my entire backline is currently deceased. Yeah, it's always nice to see one on my team. Star-Lord, you're basically the main character. You'll force out the enemy support ults and still find a way to get a kill or two. Star-Lord players will fly into the skybox just to square up with the Iron Man, because he can. It's not about getting kills. It's about sending a message. You also never complain about when you don't have the Atom team up, but when you do, you make sure it counts. Storm. I don't think anyone's ever upset when a Storm main is on their team. Like, what are they gonna do? Oh no, I only get a 10% damage boost by just being in the general area. I'm so upset. My lobster's too big and my steak's too juicy. And especially with the new Jeff NATO team up, you're basically telling the rest of the team to hop in your backpack because you're about to carry them to a win. Punisher. Punisher players are the Swiss Army knife of Marvel rivals. Tank getting a bit too comfortable walking up? Boy, let me introduce you to Big Bertha. Flying characters acting like they're untouchable? Buddy, you're about to have more holes than SpongeBob. Support players thinking they're invulnerable inside their giant healing circles? Well, what if I told you I had the entire United States defense budget strapped to my back? I'm never unhappy to see a Punisher on my team because I know as long as I keep him alive, he's about to pop off. The Thing. Basically the bouncer to the back line. Ladies, is this Black Panther bothering you? It's a shame I had to break his legs and he didn't have any medical insurance. Thing mains are itching at the thought to save their supports from an enemy dive character. And yeah, maybe they don't have any way to deal with flyers. Yet. But you best believe your boy came dripped out. On an unrelated note, playing the Thing really makes me crave a good pizza. Am I the only one that feels that way? Thor. Bro, I swear Thor players are just chilling. Like, no matter how the game's going, they're just sitting back, relaxing, and enjoying slapping people around with their hammer. Also, for some reason, Thor players tend to actually look like Thor IRL. It's kind of insane. When y'all aren't at work or school, you're at the gym. And when you're not at the gym, you're at home getting drunk and swinging your hammer. Thor mains are the first person you call up whenever you want to go to the sports bar to drink and watch UFC. Ultron. Perhaps I treated you too harshly. Specifically on release, I thought his lack of healing abilities would be a hindrance, but then I remembered what the Mantis players taught me. Your team only needs healing if the enemy's alive. Only Ultron takes this information and cranks it up to 100 and just starts blasting. It's really hard to stay mad at Ultron mains because, like, chances are he's getting kills and it's not really his fault if you're not positioning yourself in a way to stop taking 1 billion damage per second, but he is trying to keep you alive. Venom. Again, I've never seen a toxic Venom player. They're typically the ones having the most fun. They're sitting in spawn, throwing it back, and everyone knows Venom's cheeks are basically a public event. You gotta hurdle around the campfire and see what's going on. Venom mains are the heart of the team, and typically take the attention off the DPS and supports because the enemy has to work overtime just to break through his shields. Winter Soldier. Similar to Namor, you exist in spite of enemy dive characters. Bucky players will yoink a Magik mid-portal. I still don't know how that's physically possible, but I digress. Winter Soldier mains will turn a losing teamfight into a one game by a good chain of ults. We've all been in those games where the Bucky's popping off, dude gets like 40 agains, and still has the lung capacity to keep screaming. Not only that, he puts the fear of God in you the second you hear the sound of his grapple hook charging up. Wolverine. Well. if it isn't my least favorite character to play against. And despite my hate, the premise of this video is to spread positivity. Wolverine players are a necessary evil, preventing the meta that shall not be named, that plagued us long ago. And as much as I hate to say it, Wolverine is insanely fun to play. Jumping in, grabbing someone, and shooting them to the stratosphere with the help of Rocket's jump pack is some next level dopamine. And you know what? Who cares you broke all your restraining orders? And it doesn't even matter that you don't shower and that your teeth are falling out because you can't afford toothpaste. The only thing that matters in the end is that we're all having fun. Also, if you think for a second I'm not permabanning you in Season 3, you better think again, bucko.